Hi, and welcome to Enchantment of Eternity's top 20 favorite moments of Game of Thrones Season 6. In this video, I'll count down what I thought were the 20 best moments of Season 6 of Game of Thrones. So I have to give a spoiler warning for Season 6 of Game of Thrones. If you haven't seen all of Season 6, you may not want to watch this video. Otherwise, some things may be spoiled for you. So I usually do one of these top 20 favorite moments every year for Game of Thrones, but this year was by far the toughest, as although Season 6 isn't quite my favorite season of the series, I'd say it by far has the most best moments of any season, so it made it compiling this list very difficult. I was tempted to do a top 30 just so I can include all these amazing top-notch moments that I'll be leaving out, but I thought I should stick with 20. So these are the absolute best of the best. Also, I trimmed out some moments from my top 20 that were too similar to other moments that were already in there. So I try to have a representative list of all the different aspects of the season rather than have multiple moments from the same scene. So if there are some great moments missing from this list you think should be in there, check and see if there are any other moments from the same episode or the same scene, so it might be why it was left out. Okay, so let's get down to the best of the best. I'll first very quickly go through my number 20 through 11, and then I'll give more of an explanation when I get to my top 10.
But here you are. And there she is. Finally, a girl is no one.
A girl is Arya Stark of Winterfell. And I'm going home. You have to protect him. Promise me, Ned. Promise me. Promise me, Ned. Promise me.
As far as I understand, you're a Snow, and Lady Sandra is a Bolton. Who's your Lannister? I've heard conflicting reports.
I did what I had to do to survive, my lady. But I am a Stark. I will always be a Stark.
If you say so. In any case, you don't just want my allegiance, you want my fighting men.
And I vow that you shall always have a place by my hearth. And
meet and mead at my table.
meat and mead at my table. And I pledge to ask no service of you that might bring you dishonor. I swear it by the old gods and the new.
You fucking traitor.
The only traitors here are the ones who shoved their knives into their Lord Commander's heart.
For thousands of years, the Night's Watchers held Castle Black against the wildlings. Until you.
I had something made for you. And I'm not sure if it's right. Tyrion Lannister. I name you Hand of the Queen.
I've more important things to do with my time than waste them in the
Please,
presence.
Grand Maester, I bear you no ill will. Please forgive me if you can. This pains me, my lord. Whatever your faults, you did not deserve to die alone in such a cold, dark place. But sometimes before we can usher in the new, the old must be put to rest.
So now we come to my top 10, and the thing with my top 10 is really I consider this a 10-way tie for number 1. All these moments were just absolutely amazing, and I would say they're among the very best of the entire series. So before you think things like, oh, he should have his number 3 be at number 1, or how come that one is higher than that one, know that I love all of these moments, and the difference between them is so small it's almost not even worth mentioning. However, I do mention it because I want to stick to this format, and I'm typically not one to cop out on something like this. But yeah, the order of my top 10 is very flimsy and could change based on my mood, but this is the best I could come up with, so we'll go with this for now. So we'll start with my number 10, which is the pink letter from Book of the Stranger.
You will watch as I skin them living.
Go on.
Just more of the same.
You will watch as my soldiers take turns raping your sister. You will watch as my dogs devour your wild little brother. Then I will spoon your eyes from their sockets and let my dogs do the rest. Come and see.
So this was an iconic moment from the books that, although played out very differently, I felt did it justice. As Jon, Sansa, Tormund, Ed, Brienne, and Podrick were gathered for dinner, Jon gets a letter delivered to him from Ramsay, which Jon reads aloud to everyone, where Ramsay threatens to kill all the wildlings as well as flaying all of them alive, and to inform them that he has Rickon. This scene had an awesome sense of foreboding that was really thick and intense, and this scene basically is what finally motivates Jon to fight and retake the North, as the stakes are clearly spelled out. Such an intense scene. Number 9 is the dragons destroy the Master's fleet from Battle of the Bastards. This whole sequence was amazing, the way Dany came out and put those arrogant masters in their place, but the key scene was the dragons destroying the fleet, as this is the first time we really see what the dragons are capable of. Have we heard that the Targaryens conquered Westeros with dragons before, and they can defeat whole armies, but we have yet to see what they can do until this scene where the masters had marines surrounded and thought that they won, until Daenerys shows up with her dragons and very quickly just destroys all their forces in one foul swoop. On top of that, the best dragon action sequence we ever got in the whole series, and that's saying a lot, as there have been a lot of great ones. So yeah, this scene was amazing. Number 8 is I Choose Violence from No One.
Order your man to step aside, or there will be violence.
I choose violence.
This scene is, we saw coming since the trailers, and I was not in the least bit disappointed by it, as all season we see these sparrows going around doing whatever they like and acting like they own the whole place. It was just so rewarding that when Lancel showed up with a group of Faith Militant to take Cersei back to Baelor Sept to see her stand up to them, and we finally get to see the Franken Mountain in play as he just rips this dude's head off while the sparrows look on with horror, not able to do anything. And I love how Lancel told Cersei, oh, this isn't a request, and she's like, oh, yes it is, and I'm refusing. And then as the mountain rips this guy apart, we then see them try to force her, and Cersei and Qyburn just look on like proud parents as the mountain beheads a guy. It was just so great. But best of all was her response after the guy just had his head ripped off. She's just like, oh, tell his high holiness that he's welcome to come visit me here. That was one of my all-time favorite lines from the entire series. It was just so awesome. Number 7 is Jon looks out from Battle of the Bastards. The whole battle sequence from the Battle of the Bastards is absolutely amazing. Cinematic, some of the best sequences in all of television, and this moment in particular was one of the best, as the way it was filmed was so intense. It gave a real personal view on the battle as it stayed on Jon Snow, as he basically just lucked out as riders and warriors clashed all around him. It was just such an amazing sequence, and one of the best I've seen in any epic battle sequences on any screen. Number 6 is King in the North, Take 2 from the Winds of Winter.
There will be more fights to come. House Glover will stand behind House Stark, as we have for 1,000 years. And I will stand behind Jon Snow. The King in the North! The King in the North!
So it starts off with some more amazing Lyanna Mormont moment, which is always a good thing, as she gets the other lords, grown men twice her size and triple her age, to feel shame and guilt over not supporting the Starks earlier, which leads them to pronouncing Jon Snow King in the North, which is a huge deal for Jon, who lived his whole life as a bastard. To suddenly be recognized as a king is a huge deal. Plus, there was a sense of foreboding to this scene, as we know what happened last time a Stark was declared king in the North. And also there's Littlefinger, who did not at all look happy about this and is likely to stir up some trouble. So yeah, overall a really great moment. Number 5 is Sansa has Ramsay ripped apart by his own dogs from Battle of the Bastards. I will say this was one of the most satisfying deaths we had ever had in the entire series, as Ramsay was such a despicable character, arguably the most despicable character the show has ever had, even worse than Joffrey, because Ramsay could actually back up his cruelty with being a great warrior and strategist who wasn't afraid to do really twisted and sadistic things to gain the advantage. However, the fact that Sansa was the one to do it was so much more satisfying to see her get her revenge, and having his his own dogs be the ones to do this was poetic justice after seeing him use those dogs on several other victims. Plus, this scene had a rich element of darkness to it as we see Sansa take pleasure and, ordering someone to die in such a brutal way makes you wonder how far into darkness has she gone. Number 4 is Daenerys sails home from the Winds of Winter. This is the scene we've been waiting 6 years for, to finally see Daenerys leave Essos and on her way back to Westeros. And not only that, but she has a very large intimidating force, not only Dothraki and Unsullied, but also her new alliances with the Ironborn, Dorne, and the Reach, as well as 3 motherfucking badass dragons. Makes her seem really powerful, standing on that ship with Tyrion, Missandei, and Varys by her side. It was so thrilling, in the music, the cinematography, everything about the sequence was done so well. It was one of the best season closers this show has ever had. Number 3 is Hold the Door from the Door. So this was a really heartbreaking scene. Not only that, but a really fascinating one involving time travel. As we learn, Bran was the reason Hodor can only say Hodor, and he was originally an ordinary boy until Bran messed with his mind where Hodor experienced his own death, and since then was doomed to repeat the words from the moment of his death, which was actually Hold the Door, which got shortened into Hodor. Such a tragic and fascinating moment, and inspiring as it, he was brave that allowed a Bran to get away alive because he bravely sacrificed himself. This was a truly unique moment in all of television. Number 2 is Arya kills Walder Frey from the Winds of Winter.
My name is Arya Stark. I want you to know that. The last thing you're ever going to see is a Stark smiling down at you as you die.
Talk about satisfying death in a scene we've been waiting years for. Ever since season 3, I've been waiting for Walder to get his comeuppance for the Red Wedding. We finally see that in the most awesome way, as it's revealed a serving girl that we saw in the previous scene is actually Arya Stark wearing a face, and she cuts up Walder's 2 sons and bakes them into pies and serves them to Walder Frey before killing him as she smiles down on him. This scene was so rewarding, it's just almost impossible to articulate. And my number one favorite moment from Game of Thrones Season 6 is Baelor's Sept explodes from the Winds of Winter. This sequence was simply amazing, as the whole Sept just exploding, killing a whole slew of main characters like Margaery, Loras, and Mace Tyrell, as well as the High Sparrow and Lancel and Kevan Lannister. That explosion was just so nicely done. This whole sequence was amazing from the very beginning, with the music which built up beautifully to the moment, which was such an amazing payoff as the entire Sept exploding, and that annoying bell which we've heard throughout the 6 seasons of the show, whom Varys once noted how much he hated that bell, and we finally see it go flying through the air and crush a few people right before it explodes in the fire. But of course, the best part of this sequence was seeing Cersei drink her wine while she watches it explode and hundreds of people die. It shows how deep she's fallen into madness and the lengths that she'll go to win. Truly intense, making it my number one favorite moment of Game of Thrones Season 6. So that's it for my top 20 favorite moments of Game of Thrones Season 6. Be sure to check back here every week as I continue to do Game of Thrones videos at least once a week. And also be sure to check out my channel for many more Game of Thrones content, as well as a lot of other videos on shows like Star Trek, Mr. Robot, Dark Matter, and more. So be sure to subscribe so you can keep up with all of that. Thanks a lot for watching.